Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 12. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report, where once again it is time to have a look and see exactly what has happened on our crypto platforms, also what is happening in the Forex market. Definitely there has been volatility in the past couple of weeks. Looks like it has put a damper on everything here right now. Looks like we're a bit in a limbo on especially the Forex market, waiting for the 2nd of April, where some of the tariffs are now being added into individual countries here, basically from US. So that will most probably also mean again that we're going to see some even higher volatility. This particular week here, it wasn't that high, and that also means that the profits is a bit lower than what we have seen in the past week or so. We're going to show you everything here. And the other part that is actually on the move here at the moment is crypto. Again, Bitcoin has fallen past the 100,000 mark, all the way down to around 80. It's now trying to claw its way back up again. We're going to have a closer look at that one. And what we have seen here also when it comes to some of our crypto coins like the PNY and the SAP, well, it looks like our staking is going extremely well, better than ever before. And then obviously the only question here is now, what is the coin price? Because at the end of the day, that's what we want to know, and that's what you actually also going to see here in this particular video. We're also going to go through our link to success service in here. Many of our trading results that are already being copied by a lot of traders around the world. They seem to be very happy with it. So all the feedback and details we get, and you can obviously also see the percentage that is actually possible by copying some of our links. We're going to go through some of them also later in the video. And we have some good news because we have now prepared over the weekend here again about 19 new links on different EAs, as you'll see here. And we have given that over to Alex, Expert Forex, and Mary here also. Have a look at them and please see if we can get them added. So there is even more opportunities here for individual traders to have a look, both with currencies, with different types of EAs. So continues to expand our portfolio, and you can obviously find a lot more details on our website also here, where all of this is gathered in one place, hightechinvestment.com. And again, this has something to do with the Trade Explorer, Hedged EA, RSI, and so on, all these individual EAs that we actually cover our profits every single week. And of course, we also just have to pass by with Alex and Expert Forex to see what videos that he has put out this particular week here and go through all of them. So let's get into it straight away. So we're going to start off with Yieldnodes, and last week's news report I actually showed you a bit of a newsletter, so that was sent out from Steve Urtz and the rest of the Yieldnodes Decenomy team in here. Again, telling you everything is fine, we're working through it, but they can't tell us too much. Now again, obviously we don't know how much is true, how much is not true. All we can do is basically go in to see if something is happening, and what we do is go into the order coin reserves just to see what has changed from the past week. And in here, you can see there's a few things changing. If you go up to 777 in here, 3620, it's actually gone up by 4 in here. We also have AZR is in for 14. This is up at 416. So other ones doesn't have any changes, very, very minute changes, especially nothing on the PNY in here. No new masternodes running, and the same also goes for the SAP. So funny enough that some of them have been updated, other ones haven't. So we'll have to see what exactly is up with that later on. But we're going to go straight over to the SAP coin itself. Now, again, there has been a bit of a buy in here, so a very short one, but it basically ended up also with a similar sell. So again, ended up in the same place as we started here past week. There is not much volume of trading in here at the moment. So obviously we need to get back to where we were almost at $1 for this particular SAP in here, but there's a very, very long way. In the meantime, as I told you before, we are staking these coins in here. So this is the SAP one. And in 2025, the staking is really taking off. You can notice the February of the month in here, we have almost 20,000. And then here for March, it's really taken off, more than 21,000 already. This particular week here, we had 6,092 SAP in here, which was about 8.5%. Now means that we hold about 77,449 SAP in here. And obviously that would be great if it was 1-to-1 on the US dollar, or even close as it was at one point. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So we just continue to see what is going to happen. We continue to do the staking, and we do the same thing also for the PNY in here. That has also been on the move and on the rise. Else you'll notice here 6,916 PNY for the past week. That's actually 13.5%. So that is a new weekly record. And if you have a look at the month of March so far, which is not even over yet, we have more than 11,000 in here also. So it's definitely going in the right direction. The only problem, of course, is always the coin price. Same thing when it comes to Bitcoin versus USDT. We were way beyond 100,000 in here in the last couple of weeks after we had all these tariff wars being started. Bitcoin lost a lot of ground in here, dropped all the way down again to about 80,000. And this is also where we left it last time, 83,500. Since then, it had a smaller little dip down here. And at the moment, it's back up, which looks to be a bit of a resistance level around the 87,000 mark in here. So we'll have to see if it actually breaks through, or it's going to go lower once again. Now, what we know is that the Trade Explorer doesn't go any lower, so it just cashes in quite nicely. And that's also why this is one of the links that are mostly used in the link to success copy link service in here. We can see that for week 12, the 10 pair one has done 239 or 2.4%. That's quite low compared to what we normally see. The new one we have in here is the 6 pair one, where we're trying to take some of the heavy drawdown pairs out of the equation in here, then put a profit factor in here, so to raise the profits a bit again, still on a $10,000 account. This week it is a bit lower. The last 2 weeks it basically matched each other, $169, 1.7%. Still very good for just 1 week, especially when you take into consideration also the market and what is actually happening there. This is the 10 pair one. So again, this is the copy link service, link 146C. So more than 40 traders are actually involved in this particular one here. Monthly return 7.2, but don't forget we are not adjusting the lot size from week to week because it's on the copy link service. But we now have a history of 676 days and it's going extremely well. These are the 10 pairs that we have in here, so you can follow all of them. And if we go to the 10 pair one and look how we did overall, 237. But when we look at the prior weeks, 652, 509, you can see we have to go all the way back to the middle of February to find some similar low results in here. And that is simply just the Forex market, the way it actually moves here at the moment. We're also going to have a closer look at the 6 pair one. Started off with $10,000. We are already up to 11,360 floating profit and loss, minus 132. So definitely not too bad. And this is normally quite good for this particular EA. Total returns at the moment, 12.3%. Monthly returns is again calculated by FX Blue to about 16%. So looks very, very nice at the moment. Weekly returns 3.6 with a trade win of 75%. Trades per day 9, and we have a history of 24 days now in here. As soon as we've got a bit of a month, we'll send it on to Expert Forex and then see if they're ready to put this particular one on also, so you can join in copying this particular account. We'll notice that the account this week, very low, 169 compared to the prior weeks in here. And again, Forex markets, everything that's happened in here basically reflects on the lack of profit for the week. Wave Liberator for week 12, the top 5 EAs we have in here. You'll notice there's a lot of Japanese in here, so that one has been volatile enough to cash in both on the US Japanese with $44, 4.4%, and the Great British Pounds Japanese with $40 or 4%, so all of them very nice and obviously above the 10% on average if you do that for an entire month. New Zealand Japanese, $37, 3.7%, and then another one, Aussie Japanese, $37, 3.7%, and then followed by the Euro USD, $32, 3.2%. So definitely when you look at the numbers, they look very nice, $192, 3.8%. But it is actually quite low compared to what we normally get. And obviously we're going to have a look at the individual numbers. Floating profit and loss for the entire portfolio here is at minus 12,000. The balance 162 at the moment, so it's looking good. Monthly returns 1.1 or 11% if you do this on $1,000 accounts. And then we have trade wins are still good, 67.9. Trades per day 14 and a history of 580 days. So you can see this is good, stable results over long periods of time. And if you want to have a closer look, you can go on our website again and have a look at the individual ones. They're always marked up on the coupling service. You click them, you get to FX Blue, and then you get all the data and details in here that we also present to you. In the video, we can see the entire portfolio, 382, which is better than last week's 346. But obviously we have a lot better results. But the Wave Liberator cashes in quite nicely. Drawdown normally keeps to a minimum. And the same here goes for the RSI Liberator. Also in here we have a few Japanese currency pairs. But the top one is actually the Aussie Swiss francs, $38, 3.8%. And then the Aussie Japanese, $35, 3.5%. With Aussie CAD, $28, 2.8%. With New Zealand Japanese, $24, 2.4%, and Great British Pound, Swiss francs, $17, 1.7%. So again, good numbers overall. Most of them are actually over the 10% mark in a month, and total $141, 2.8% overall. So again, on the average side, about 10% on each month. So very, very good numbers. And if we go and have a look at the entire portfolio, as we said here, we have 22 accounts, $10,000 each, and now up to 246. Floating profit and loss under control, minus 10,800. So looking good. Total return 6.6%. So because we have it on $10,000 accounts, otherwise it would be 66. So we also have monthly returns in here. Again, is calculated at the moment to 9% if you have it on $1,000 accounts. And then we have trade wins, 66 at the moment, trades per day, 18. So it's actually trading a bit more than the Wave Liberator with a history of 349 days. And again, all the individual currency pairs, you can follow them on our website in here, where again, you'll notice that a lot of them is already on the coupling service. Some are not. And that's what we also mentioned in the beginning of the video. We're adding additional ones in here. Alex only takes a handful every single time from us that we ask him to put anything on. So we normally try, obviously, to get the best ones first. RSI Liberator in here, again, for the entire portfolio. It is only $230 for the week. So it's below the $274 we made the week before. And you can see the two volatile weeks, 782, 391. We would like to get back to that one, of course. And hopefully we'll see that happening in the next week or two. You can obviously find a lot more details on individual EAs because we have all of it on our website gathered for you, including videos here, Wave Liberator, RSI. And the same thing here, if you go on the Hedged EA, then you'll see these particular sum up of the individual portfolios and also the profits for week 12 in here for the top 5 EAs. And this is the Hedged EA that is normally doing extremely well. Also this week, it is okay with Great British Pounds, AUD, $38, 3.8%, so very nice. US Swiss francs, $27, 2.7%, followed by the Great British Pound, Swiss. And again, $25, 2.5%, with Aussie CAD at $25, 2.5%, so all very equal here. With New Zealand USD, $23, 2.3%. And overall for the top 5, $138, 2.8% for the week. Again, we're going to have a closer look to see exactly where we are with the entire portfolio. It is looking pretty okay flattening out a bit up here. So for the past week or two where things have been slowing down, again, we have 16 accounts of $10,000 floating profit and loss at the moment, 4,500, so not too bad. And then monthly return seems to be a bit higher here with 1.3, or if you have it on $1,000 accounts, it's 13%. Weekly returns will then be 3%, and trade wins are 70%, so that is quite nice with trades of about 16 per day. Now 2 months of history, 63 days in here, so definitely moving in the right direction, where you can find all these individual Hedged EAs also on our website. You click on them again to figure out which ones are the ones that are working the best, which ones are not. And if we have a look at the entire portfolio in here, again, 226 is definitely not where we want to be, because the prior week was 428, 996, 440. So you get the picture here. We have to go all the way back to mid-February again to find anything lower. And if you look even further back, you can see again that 300 or 400 should be achievable on a normal Forex week in here. So that should be the level we are looking at. We're also going to have a look at the Lucky Trader. Even that one is also a bit low this week with Aussie CAD at $32, 3.2%. We have another US CAD in here, $20, 2%. New Zealand Swiss francs, $18, 1.8%. And then Aussie New Zealand, $16, 1.6%. And then at the bottom here of the top 5, Great British Pounds CAD, $15, 1.5%, and total $102, 2%. Definitely not the numbers that we normally see coming out of the Lucky Trader. But again, the portfolio is good. You can see the close profits. We have 9,000, floating profit and losses at minus 6,000. So again, it is running quite nicely. Overall, monthly returns also here calculated to 1.2 or 12% on $1,000 accounts, 3% on a $1,000 account on a weekly basis. Trade wins very, very close to the 70% mark also in here. And it is actually quite active, the Lucky Trader, with 21 trades per day, averaging over these 141 days that we've now been trading it. And some of them are already on the copy link service. You notice also that we're going to have hopefully a few more here. If Alex and Mary can approve some of these accounts in here, that would be great. That'll give you even more diversification for your own portfolio to trade it up. History, 141 days, as we said. We look at the numbers, 146 down here compared to 377 the week before, 863. So again, we are low compared to where we normally are. We are basically, again, you'll notice here that in mid-February, we had a similar drop in profits coming in, but it's normally cashing quite well. It all depends on what the Forex market is obviously doing. Now, the Bell Trader also seems to be doing quite well, at least some of the signals. Not all of them are actually doing that well. So we continue to struggle with some of the bottom ones to try and get them to cash in better. But we can see here the top ones, the Aussie CAD, $38, 3.8%. It's definitely good. It's about 15% on a monthly basis. We have Aussie USD, $29, 2.9%, followed by New Zealand CAD, $27, 2.7%. New Zealand Swiss francs, $25, 2.5%. And then CAD Swiss francs, $20, 2%. Overall, this one seems to be doing better than the Lucky Trader this particular week here, with $139, 2.8% overall. And that is, again, more than 10% on a monthly basis. So if we look at the entire portfolio in here, we notice that the profit and loss is actually up. So it actually outperforms the profits that we had at the moment. Otherwise, it's been extremely low, but due to a couple of weeks of volatility in here, that has gone up. It's still very much under control, of course, but you have to drag these ones on for a couple of months. And then after that, everything seems to come back into normal and you are basically making some very good profits. Monthly profits for this is still the lowest one we have, with about 0.8 on $10,000 account, 8% on a 1,000, or 2% on $1,000 accounts in here. Trade wins are actually better, almost 72%, but you can also see trades per day is all the way down to 9. We have a history of 112 days in here, so Also here, plenty of information to have a look at, and even some of them are now on the copy link service. We asked for a few more, also with Expert Forex. Hopefully they'll be able to join also your portfolio in a very short period of time. When we look at the individual money, so what is coming in, we had 156 overall for the entire portfolio, so very, very low. 247 the week before, 420, 542. So some very, very good numbers. And you'll notice that we have to go all the way back here in mid-January. So to find a similar low part, so with the bill trader. So definitely we are hoping that all of these is going to jump up again soon and cash in big time. We also have to have a look at a couple of videos that Alex has. There's some big changes coming in here. And basically what he's talking about here is smaller accounts. So instead of $1,000 and $10,000 accounts, he's now also talking about $300 and $500 accounts with low leverage. US comparable basically just means that you'll only have one trade at a time. So you will not have any hedging, anything else. And he will also join a few live accounts in here, because we still hear from members from time to time that they will only copy live and real trading accounts, and basically sounds like they haven't tried so the service out in the first place, because we are using the same demo accounts, also the settings, everything else on our live accounts. We basically pick off the best ones, and from there on we're using that, so we can certainly not see the difference. But anyway, there's new robots that are also coming in, and I have mentioned that a few times in prior videos. Also, there's a new, and I do apologize for the grainy picture in here, but this is unfortunately the quality that I have this particular week from the email we got, that you can again win a $1,000 trading robot on a weekly basis. And this particular video here tells you exactly what it is that you need to do in order to be part of this particular one here. You can pick one of the Expert Forex EAs in here for yourself. The first one was actually the RSI robot in here. And obviously it's your free choice which one it is that you want to have. There's also another video that Alex released just before we were shooting this particular video in here. And this one is actually picking out of the copy link service a few accounts that he then puts in portfolio, and then he tracks them on here. And you can see that the first one that he actually did, which is now a month or two old, it says it has 24% in only 5 weeks in here. And you'll also notice that some of the ones on the account are doing great, other ones are not doing so great. But overall, it's a portfolio that he put together in here to try and help new traders if they don't exactly understand how to actually gather the right details. Now, we have tried to gather the right details for you in the last many weeks, every single week here now on these particular videos here. We are doing the top 5 for the Forex trading account, the copy link service in here. And again, what we are doing is the floating profit and loss. We want to have the accounts less than 300 in drawdown, and then at the same time return on total drawdown also has to be more than 200%. Total negative weeks in the 8 weeks, we don't want to see anything above $300. And then we basically click it on high to low at the end of the day, and you can see the top one is 89 all the way down to 20%. You'll also notice that these with the C at the end is actually our accounts in here. So we follow those very closely. And one of the things we noticed, again, when we clicked on some of the links in here, because we saw they were quite high on the profit side. And normally if they are high on the profit side, there will also be higher drawdowns from what they have actually shown in here. So again, it looks like this is what the levels is at the moment. But when we are looking at the negative side in here, we're looking for the past 8 weeks. So we clicked those particular 2 links, as you can see in here, and that gives us these accounts. We can see the floating profit and loss. And again, this is well beyond what we are actually asking for. So in the past 8 weeks that you'll notice here, this is the 300 line. So it has passed that one several times, and yet it shows up on the linking service in here. So it's not one that I would have. This one even goes to 500 recently. The same thing goes for the other one here, and you can see both of them are $1,000 accounts, $1,000 accounts. It is 1K and also 1K here. And obviously that means that it will have a drawdown of more than 50%. And the same thing goes for this particular one here. That's almost at 500 and very recent, still very high also. So, and again, it shouldn't show up in that particular Excel 8 here. So it is very important that you go and have a closer look at the individual ones, because yes, Alex and Mary certainly does their best here every single week to update all these details, but we'll see some discrepancies from time to time, even on our signals in here. They are not always exactly correct, and that's also why every single week that we are putting the drawdowns, we are counting it in there to make sure that they are low drawdown accounts. So if we pick some of these ones out, we're gonna get these links here instead below. That seems to be a-okay, and they are within the basically selection that we have. So this is the total list. It's a very short list this time around, and again, I believe it has something to do here with some of all the individual trade wars that we have on here at the moment. Drawdown basically creeps up higher and higher, but is still 53% for the top one in here, which is the 181, extremely good. And then we can see all the way down here to about 4%. So obviously not the best, but if you just jump up a few, you'll see 187C here is again 14%, and then it goes up from there, 16, 20, 22, some very good numbers. Even here you have excellent ones, and total negative weeks in 8 weeks. So they are extremely low. A lot of them seems to have gone extremely well after we have made some adjustments in here. So I hope that this has given you a good idea. Again, as we said, the Excel is a very, very good tool for you to go and have a look at, go and search. You don't necessarily have to use the same criteria that we are using. So we are just trying to make some accounts that have extremely low drawdown. We don't want to break any more accounts here in the future. We have made some changes to our trading strategy. You can obviously do it the way you want it, but this is what we're going to show every single week to make sure that you have some very good accounts that you can basically copy over, and from there on basically try and get different types of EAs and also different currency pairs, so you can handpick the individual ones, all of from your heart's desire. So as you can see, it's still been a very good week here on the Forex market for us. All the EAs is basically cashing in still quite nicely. The profits might be a bit lower than what you have seen in past weeks and months in here, but that has all got to do with the Forex market and what is happening around the world here at the moment with all these tariffs. Definitely volatility is a good thing for most of these EAs that we are trading, not the trending part, but when it goes very much up and down, it'll cash in big time. So we're waiting for something to happen, most probably next week, and then we'll see exactly where it's going to go from there. We're also keeping a close eye on the individual crypto coins, and obviously you can follow that also next week again in here. So if you like what you see, please give us a thumbs up and a comments in here if there's something that you want to have added. Otherwise, I hope that you enjoyed exactly the copy link service here also, a way to actually make a bit of extra money without having all the trade experience in here that you would normally have in order also to buy the EAs, basically set them up, try and find the right settings, and then continue to make adjustments. All of this is actually done for you by us as an experienced trader, and other ones also on the copy link service. So definitely this is a very, very good opportunity. You can handpick yourself exactly where you want to be and how long you want to be in the game itself. You can even put individual factors in, so you can double the profit if you think that the individual traders are basically too cautious about the drawdowns. Or you can go and basically also add in some high risk accounts, but dial them down a bit, so at least the profit is still there and they are a bit more safe and secure. It all depends on what type of risk that you're actually involved in. So I hope again that this particular half an hour video in here has given you some good opportunities how to make money in the future. So I hope to see you on one of my next videos. Until then, bye bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. so please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.